He says that there was a $10.13 million discrepancy found.
And there's a 7.2.
No.
From their side.
Wait, hold on a minute. Yeah. You say, indeed, the last payments were done by you, if I'm not mistaken, as health minister.
The last payments were not done. My payments were still outstanding.
But the last payments were authorized by you.
Let's clarity. The payment is not like he supplies, he gave certificates to the tune of, let's say, 70 million or pay 77. That's not the case.
Of course.
It is in reconciliation of the work done.
Of course. But after that payment, it was determined, you yourself have said, that your team determined.
Two things.
You
are stating one.
I can speak.
We claim a surplus of 10.
You cannot claim a deficit of. You as a government official cannot speak for Lightweight. It is up to them to make any claim.
I'm speaking for what we did. We did this before we handled. These are from my notes.
Good. So you must restrict yourself to. When we did the audit as government of Ghana,
yes,
this is what we found.
Yeah,
it's up to Lightweight.
Yeah, that's what.
Your responsibility is the people of Ghana, not Lightweight.
That must be clear.
Yes, so that is it.
Not Lightweight.
Anything Lightweight says, it's up to them to use any approach they do.
I agree.
To vindicate their rights. It is not up to the government of Ghana to do that for them. So you cannot, as a government official.
No, but I'm not said so. I'm not holding.
Yes, so the 7 million for me is a red herring. Is it 7 million for me? Is a red herring. They have to prove it. We have conducted an audit, and you see that. Let me place it on record. It appears that my brother Okoe-Boye, in some of his interviews, set his own questions and answered them. He said that the minister claimed that the entity in question is a foreign organization. The minister never said so. I provide a flat, but I have a speech. I can send it to you.
This thing, I don't know where it's coming from. All this, what the impression was that it's
nobody had created this as a impression. Moro.
Yes.
Moro.
Like
Moro.
To city.
Moro.
I was the first person to show that thing is not true. He started by saying that our data was with
Moro. Can't say that.
Moro.
He said it on platform.
Moro.
Really?
Moro.
It's an impression.
Okay. When you speak, I kept quiet. With the greatest respect to you.
Speak to what
Akando has not said. Hakando has never said that this gentleman is a foreigner. He is not. He is from Ghanaian. But you are saying that Akando has said that the entity provided
foreigners.
But that is true. Is that not the case? The people who manage the system are sitting in India.
I mean, what was the evidence to that? Listen.
Okay. But let me make my point.
But it's a simple statement.
Let him. Don't worry. We'll ask him questions. Don't worry.
So, Mr. Sir Felix O, head of communications for the presidency, that guy is learned. Indeed, the National Democratic Congress NDC for ACAD, and they are working. And the Felix of Osukwache, I Bernard Okoe-Boye of NPP Nwejuma ewo Metro TV. Mama Bernard Okoe-Boye are looking like a child as a Sebiobia Onimia Oye. Now is regarding to the light wave contract. NPP assigned the man Samsung Jaguar company. And this for council no. And the Felix of Osukwache said indeed politics is about fact and this for a lot of corruption. Now the video, no, the way Felix of Osukwache see yes Samson Okoe-Boye Nwejuma. I'm telling you, Okoe-Boye be ofima. At a point in time, Okoe-Boye feti and not sepe because na me ho kra minor. Ya ye ni Nwejuma wo TV so. Okoe-Boye go ni mas because one morning show no so prepared. You go have video nimba. But before that, mo nim contract nim no. During the tenure of Okoe-Boye as the health minister, Oku signed a contract with Lightwave. And a contract and started from 2019 to 2023. And contract and woman say I want to see 950 health facilities. By the time our MPP free buying so Okoe-Boye free the health ministry no na yenye wie sa ade no. And na NDC ba power. Omo hwe asika dia koso wo ho. Omo cancel sa contract no. And na Bernard Okoe-Boye an ko pa an ko ka say health minister no when your first cancel contract no one ye and na Felix of Osukwache change bra betanase no the ni see ho na was schooling no. And I was wondering because Felix of Osukwache is not a person or health facility wo but come here so nim the crowd change Bernard Okoe-Boye Charlie NPP needs to work very hard because come here say jana and this for na so no I know anything you go video no of how Felix of Osukwache and now pay our schooly Bernard Okoe-Boye our Metro TV Good Morning shows.
Moro, you see the issue at hand in relation to this health wave, light wave contract.
Yes.
is straightforward. To begin with, let me dispel any notion of ill feeling towards the behind Lightwave, Samson Jabba. Okoe-Boye himself has said that our relationship with him started in 2016. So we were the ones who tapped him to begin the process of connecting 23 health facilities, as Okoe-Boye indicated, at a cost of $6 million.
So as the Herald published, it is indeed, you can confirm it.
Absolutely.
Samson Jabba is behind Lightwave.
He is behind Lightwave. And I'm sure the name rings a bell.
It does, very much so.
So there cannot be an issue of ill feeling.
Okay.
Or the simple fact that government has changed.
Okay.
We were the ones who first engaged him on a pilot basis. The issue at hand relates to specific contractual obligations that have not been honored and conduct that has led to losses to the state and compromised the state's ability to run its healthcare system effectively. These are the issues. So for me, there are 4 basic facts. The first fact is that there is evidence of non-performance. A contract was signed to last for 3 years, involving the connection of 950 health facilities via a health information management system. By the end of the 3rd year, that project had not been completed as required by the contract. 2 extensions were done, a year each, from 2022 to 2023, 2023 to 2024. So it was supposed to elapse on 31st December 2024. By 31st December 2024, it had not been delivered, and the contract had lapsed. So as of the end of last year, no contractual relationship existed between the government of Ghana and Samson Jabba's Lightwave. That is a fact that is not in dispute. That alone enables the government of Ghana to try alternative approaches. That alone, the fact that he could not deliver. Number 2, there's an issue of gaps even in what is said to have been delivered. The major health facilities that Okoe-Boye says have been connected to the tune of $77 million. The exact figure is $76.9 million. When an audit was conducted, it was found that there were gaps of up to $18.9 million in both the supply of the hardware, the software, and other services. So for instance, the contract stipulates that supply this kind of laptop, he brings you an inferior one. Supply this quality of software, he brings you one that has glitches and cannot work. When it was estimated, it amounted to $18.9 million. Almost $19 million. That, again, is sufficient basis to dispense with the services of this service provider. And then number 3.
Yeah, sure.
And then number 3, Okoe-Boye himself has admitted to payment in excess of actual work done. He says that there was a $10.13 million discrepancy found.
And there's a 7.2.
No.
From their side.
Wait. Hold on a minute. Yeah. You say, indeed, the last payments were done by you, if I'm not mistaken, as health minister.
The last payments were not done. My payments were still outstanding.
But the last payments were authorized by you.
Let's clarity. The payment is not like he supplies. He gave certificates to the tune of, let's say, 70 million or pay 77. That's not the case.
Of course.
It is in reconciliation of the work done. Of course.
But after that payment, it was determined. You yourself have said that your team determined
2 things.
You
are stating one.
I can speak.
We claim a surplus of 10.
You cannot claim a deficit of. You as a government official cannot speak for Lightwave. It is up to them to make any claim.
I'm speaking for what we did. We did this before we handled. These are from my notes.
Good. So you must restrict yourself to. When we did the audit as government of Ghana,
yes,
this is what we found.
Yeah,
it is up to Lightwave.
Yeah, that's what.
That's what your responsibility is the people of Ghana, not Lightwave. That must be clear. Yes, so that is it.
Not Lightwave.
Anything Lightwave says, it's up to them to use any approach they believe to vindicate their rights. It is not up to the government of Ghana to do that for them. So you cannot, as a government official,
no, but I've not said so. I'm not holding.
Yes, so the 7 million for me is a red herring. Is it 7 million for me? Is a red herring. They have to prove it. We have conducted an audit, and you see that there's a 10 million payment in excess of the work they did. That is also sufficient basis to dispense with their services, and perhaps even hold to account those who authorize the payment. Moro, these are the facts. So when we took over, Honorable Akando, I can reveal to you, has held 3 meetings with Samson Jaba. 2 in Ghana, 1 outside this country. We took advantage of our presence in New York for Honorable Akando to meet him to resolve whatever issues there were. On all 3 occasions, this gentleman refused to cooperate unless a new contract is given him. Well,
what was the minister's proposal to him which was expected to
I'm coming to that. We all recall that in the last few weeks, and in fact, the first group of people to make this an issue were NPP propagandists. On Facebook, they accused the government of mismanaging the NHIS, such that suddenly claims cannot be processed and that people were going through inconvenience. Was that not the case?
Me, did you see me?
Oh, I've not mentioned your name. I said the NPP communicators. It is verifiable. This is a fact. This even compelled the NHIS to issue a statement, because I, as government communications minister, immediately got in touch with the NHIS CEO, Dr. Victor Bampo, to inquire as to what was happening. And then he told me that they were going to issue a statement to clarify. And indeed, he sent me that statement before they put it out. So I know that government took steps to even explain what had happened. The communication from the NHIS explained that they were having technical difficulties. Those technical difficulties were because Samson Jaba was sitting in Atlanta, USA, switching the system on and off as part of a blackmail tactic to compel the government of Ghana to do what he wanted. Well, how can we pay $77 million to an entity and suffer this sort of fate? How should we pay $77 million as a government and have a situation where the person supposed to render the service to us is able to switch it on and off? Not that we owe him. You see, if, for instance, he had done service up to $77 million and we had paid, say, 30, so we owed him $40 million, he can use that as a mechanism to compel us to honor our obligations. But the issue in question does not relate to any outstanding payments. Yet he was able to switch it. So it was when he was switching it on and off, that was why we had that glitch.
Do you know this for a fact?
I know this for a fact. Then, over the last 2 weeks, he completely shut the system off, putting us in extreme difficulty and creating huge inconvenience for the Ghanaian public who went to seek healthcare. So this erratic, irascible behavior again forms basis to part ways with him. Because you see, we are a serious country. So when a whole country has contracted with you for you to perform specific services, you cannot behave in that manner and expect a continuation of the relationship. Because we are not children. He was behaving as though he was toying with us. That he has some toy that he could, throw up and down as he pleased. He forgot that the lives of at least 40 million people were at stake. And yet he did this to us. On the 2 occasions when he came to Ghana, he insisted that if we don't give him a new contract, he was not going to give us administrative access. It is a lack of administrative access on our part that enables him to do what he's doing. Otherwise, he can't do it. How do you pay somebody $77 million to do work on 450 facilities and not have administrative access to them?
But that is not a right he can exercise.
But that is what he was doing.
So
Okoe-Boye Over did not demand access to that. So we don't have it.
But I've said one word. Okay, I'll respond.
Yes,
we do not have administrative. If we had administrative access, we won't be having this conversation. Today, if there's a system glitch in Kolebu, the IT director of Kolebu cannot on his own repair it without recourse to the gentleman in Atlanta.
No.
How do you pay $77 million for this?
It doesn't make sense.
Yes. So that is the situation we have. The reason why the system was off for that number of days was because of this. And you see, Moro, the contract is pretty clear. It is a sub-purchase and supply contract, which means that we were buying the hardware and the software so that we can operate. Mr. Jabe's obligations would then be limited to maintenance to help us maintain it over a certain period. It is not a management contract, as in build the system and manage it for us. In fact, the contract stipulates that when we take delivery of the items and the service and the software, we issue a certificate of acceptance. In contracting, once you do that, means that you own it. So Metro TV wants to
both the soft and hardware.
Both the soft and hardware. We didn't pay for only hardware. The software is not his. It is our property. That's the reason why he had to train people to manage it and operate it. The staff at the various hospitals should be able to address problems with the software. But they are not able to do it because he retains control. And let me re-emphasize that he is not doing this because we owe him money. That he has provided services that we've not paid for. We've paid, and paid him more than what he even deserves. There are even gaps in what he supplied, up to $90 million. It's not up to the standard that he said he will supply. So we don't owe him a dime, and yet he was able to switch the thing on and off. So at the issue, it was obvious that the contract was faulty, and that we were not getting value for money. As for the third meeting in New York, he threw tantrums and used vituperative language on the minister when he demanded administrative access to what he had done. So how can an erratic character like that continue to maintain a relationship with a serious entity, a state like Ghana, through the Ministry of Health? This is at the heart of the matter. That is what there is to it. I have the contract here and I've gone through it. In fact, the contract provides milestones. It states the time frame within which each service ought to be rendered. Each item ought to be delivered. That has not been done. And Okoe-Boye's excuse that there were people at the various health facilities sabotaging it is not tenable. It is the reason why you are minister. Look, imagine me having an obligation through my ministry with an entity to provide a service, to say ISD. And then I come and tell you that there are people at ISD refusing to cooperate. What does that make me look like? It is my duty to move mountains to ensure that the service is delivered, especially when I have committed the government of Ghana to do a contract. So the idea that there were people in hospitals attempting to prevent this from happening, it's not tenable. That's why you have the right as minister to dismiss people who are unwilling to carry out your instructions. So it's not tenable. The simple fact is that the contract was not honored. And at this stage, there is no obligation compelling the government of Ghana to deal with them. And in fact, I have also reiterated that we were willing to give the Minister of Health, Honorable Kando, proposed this, that he was willing to give him a 2-year engagement to ensure that the rest of the work is done. And then all the problems that had been encountered are resolved. In fact, the contract provides for him. He refused to do so because he wanted a contract. And the minister said, no, in the first instance, you've not delivered what we asked you to deliver. The accounts have a saying, if the head that went to grace have not returned, you don't send in more. You retrieve them first. And by all means, the state of Ghana, through the Ministry of Health, should have administrative control over something that we spent tens of millions of dollars to procure. And nobody should be able to sit anywhere in this country, in this world, and switch it on and off as they please. And let me place it on record. It appears that my brother, Okoe-Boye, in some of his interviews, set his own questions and answered them. He said that the minister claimed that the entity in question is a foreign organization. The minister never said so. I provide a platform. I have a speech. I can send it to you.
This thing, I don't know where it's coming from. All this, what the impression was that it's
nobody had created this as a impression. Moro.
It's come from Yes.
Moro.
Like
Moro.
to city.
Moro.
I was the first person to show that thing is not true.
Moro.
He started by saying that our data was with
Moro.
Moro. Say that.
Moro.
He said it on platforms.
Moro.
Really?
Moro, I'm
It's
on
an
the floor.
impression
Okay. When you speak, I kept quiet. With the greatest respect to you.
Speak to what
Akando has not said. Akando has never said that this gentleman is a foreigner. He is not. He is from Ghanaian. Oh, but you are saying that Akando has said that the entity providing
foreigners.
But that is true. Is that not the case? The people who manage the system are sitting in India.
I mean, what was the evidence to that? Listen. Oh,
but let me make my point.
No, but it's a simple statement.
Let him. Don't worry. We'll ask him questions. Don't worry.
You see, let me make my point.
Moro,
listen, Moro. You see, the fact is that the servers themselves don't mean anything. If I bring you a server, or you bring me a server that I cannot control, but you can control from anywhere in the world, you are holding me to ransom. That is the situation now. So it is true that there are servers and systems sitting in various health facilities and the Ministry of Health. But the government of Ghana does not have administrative access. When it turns it off, we can't switch it back on, despite the fact that we've paid for that service.
So hold on. So Felix, when you say the data is sitting in India, what does that mean?
The software that controls it, that is what...
It's being controlled from India?
It's being controlled by people who work for him in India.
Fact?
Yes, the minister has found that out. He's put it out. But he has never said that the entity itself is a foreign company.
Okay.
I know Samson Jaba is of Ghanaian descent. I don't know whether he's a US citizen or not, but that for me is even immaterial. The fact is that there are obligations that he must fulfill that he has not fulfilled. And how Okoe-Boye and his colleagues in the NPP at the Ministry of Health at the time were able to put us under the control of such an entity is mind-boggling. How do you do that? And for emphasis, Moro, it is a purchase and supply contract. The contract is clear. I can send it to you. It's a 58-page contract. And you will see clearly that the wording of the language is clear. You see, we are paying consideration for a purchase and supply. Yet, after we've paid all the money, we can't control even the ones that he has done. Forget about the ones that he has not done. And then the outstanding $19 million that we've detected, that was actually not dealt with, that was actually not delivered, it's another matter. And then the $10 million has been paid in excess of what has been done. It's another matter. So in the light of this, the only remedy available to the government of Ghana is to draw lessons from this and have a system that we fully and effectively control, even if we outsource the building of it or the procurement of it to private entities. So the minister indeed said that we do not want a situation where a single entity is able to control our health information management system and plunge us into the crisis that Samson Jaba has plunged us in. So we are going to do two things. First, to put in place a backbone called the National Health Information Exchange. That is what all other service providers will route their service through, so that we retain control of it. Number two, as a matter of emergency, we have to bring back the 450 health facilities that are being affected by Samson Jaba's erratic conduct to connectivity. So, the Ghana Health Information Management System is being put in place. They say that over a 4-week period, they will be able to do this so that all the 450 that are currently affected will be brought back on stream to manage their system. But it will go through this National Health Information Exchange so that we control it. Nobody can switch it off at will, especially when we have fulfilled our obligations. The second issue is that there's the outstanding 5 million, which Okoe-Boye says is equivalent to just 2 teaching. And indeed, if it was that simple, how has it taken 2 years and still has not been completed? Even if we were to discount the first